One of the most often used tools in any operating system is its file manager. It lets us browse our directories or folders and files. In this video, I'll demonstrate the basic use and some of the important settings in the Ubuntu file manager. So in the default Ubuntu install, like I have here, we click the icon in the launcher just below the dash. It has an icon of a filing cabinet. And we click it, it opens it up. Now if we'd like to close this window, we can either click our X as usual, or we can do a Control W and close it with the shortcut key. We can also do Control N to open up a new file manager window, and multiple times we'll open up multiple windows. If we do Control T, we can also have tab navigation. So here we can have one directory, say Documents, and another, let's say Downloads. And suppose I have a file in Downloads, which I can create by right-clicking, New Document, and I'll choose Empty Document. I'll leave that just to be Untitled Document. I can click on it. I can press Control X, the usual cut key, to cut it, and then Control V in Documents to paste it. So I've cut and pasted it from Downloads to Documents using the shortcut key, or I can right-click and select Cut or Copy, or from the menu up top, so I can go Edit, Cut or Copy from up here. So there's a number of ways of doing things depending on what you're most comfortable with. Now if we delete a file, so if I click on this file, I can either select right-click, move to trash, or I can just hit delete and that will move it to the trash. And I go into the trash, and here it shows my untitled document, which I can restore or click empty to delete it forever. In this case, I'll just click restore. Now, there's a few preferences. Now, if we go to home, you notice here I have this tiled view. We can switch to a list view by clicking one of these keys in this toolbar, or we can go up to our menu and go view, and instead of icons, we can select list. And it does the same thing. Now, if these icons are a little bit too big in the list view, I can go view, zoom out, and I can get it to a size that I'm comfortable with. As well, I can edit global settings by going Edit and Preferences, and I can change my default view from icon view to list view, although it remembers particular settings we have on a folder. So if we change an individual folder to a particular view, it will remember that. And we can change how we arrange items, let's say by modification date by default, and we can also choose to show hidden files by default. And there's also the usual single click to open or double click, run executable text files when they're open or view them, or we can have it ask, and we can even have a delete command that bypasses the trash, but I'm going to leave that unchecked. And there's a few other options. I can add more columns to my view. Here I have name, size, type, and modified. I can also add, say, owner and group, as well as the permissions of that file. So if I add those, I close this to expand it a little more. I can change the sizes. So we have the owner, which just shows me, the group, Steve Scott, and the permissions. The D is for directory, and then read, write, execute for the owner, the group, and everyone. Now I can also bookmark a location. So if I go to a particular folder, let's say this backup folder I have here, I can select it, go up to bookmarks. Oh, I go into backup. So once it's here in the toolbar, so home, backup, I go into bookmarks and bookmark this location, either Control D or I just click it, and the bookmarks come up in our left-hand panel. If we have other computers on the network, we can click Browse Network, and here we see there's 4 other computers that I can access. This DBC, this Raspberry Pi that's connected to the network, SS-VB is the name of this local machine that I'm working on, and WebDev1 is another web server that's on this network. This is not the only file manager. You can install others through the Ubuntu Software Center or through apt on the command line. Now if I open up Ubuntu Software Center, another one that I've used in the past, and which is the default install on Xubuntu or Xubuntu, I can type Thunar, the Thunar file manager, and I can click install, and that will install this other file manager, which I could then use instead of the default one. And that'll conclude this introduction to the Ubuntu File Manager.